So then when I kind of tap into like more of just like as a basketball fan, when I watch the NBA today, I sometimes compare it to like, if, you know, for those of you that remember when the WWE was WWF.
I want to ask you your opinion on the NBA today. We've already kind of said a little bit. Well, you know, Kid Jay talked about you coached in the NBA, you coach in the WNBA, which is something we also want to talk about. You coach in high school. So you've coached at every level. What do you look at now when you look at the NBA? Or not what do you look at? What do you see? Because you played in this league for 19 years. You've seen this league go from one extreme to a different extreme. And not like you just said, not saying good or bad either way. But how do you look at the NBA now? How do you view it?
Yeah, it's interesting. It's a great question. I think, you know, because everything now is viewed through the lens of like, what can I learn or take from it as a coach? Sometimes I'm not necessarily just watching it to watch it as a fan, and I'm not really hung up or caught up too much on like, okay, well, this matchup or, you know, why didn't they go inside that time? Like, I'm really just looking at like, oh, I like that quick hitter. I like that sideline out of bounds action right there. Oh, I see the way they managed coming out of that timeout, what happened. So then when I kind of tap into like more of just like as a basketball fan, when I watch the NBA today, I sometimes compare it to like, if, you know, for those of you that remember when the WWE was WWF. I don't know if everybody remembers that, but there was a time where WWE was WWF, World Wrestling Federation. And then it shifted to World Wrestling Entertainment. Again, not right or wrong, because one could argue that the WWE is a more impactful sport than the WWF was, depending on what side of the conversation you're on. I feel like all of pro sports to some degree, not just the NBA, even the NFL. You listen to guys that played before, coached before. It's a different game.
No doubt.
And it's not a negative thing. It's just it is built more for the entertainment value maybe than the competitive value, right? Like we, in previous generations, it was designed as though it was a battle, a war, gladiators, so to speak. And it doesn't mean the guys now aren't tough, they're soft, they're like, I'm not saying that. I know that it's said elegantly in some conversations, but that's not what I'm saying. But it's definitely a different way that they are able to show up and compete. People have no idea how big and strong Shaquille O'Neal was.
Oh, man.
Like, it's not even close to any like as dominant as Nikola Jokic has been and deserving of the MVPs. The way he dominates the game is obviously extremely different than Shaq, but the concept is the same. You have no matchup for Nikola Jokic.
You're right.
You're
right.
And everybody knows it. And everybody says it. This dude, there is no matchup for this dude. Right? That was Shaq.
You can't put nobody small on him.
You played with guys that there was no matchup for Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. None.
You couldn't stop him.
I don't care who. There was no matchup for Michael Jordan.
You couldn't stop him.
You know what I mean? So when I watch it today, again, I love it from the entertainment perspective. I love it strategically. I feel like the game is more nuanced in a lot of ways. It's less predictable from the standpoint of it could look like they're getting ready to do this, and all of a sudden somebody's flying off of a stagger screen with a flare pick for the center, and all of a sudden he's shooting a three. Whereas when we played, it was highly predictable. Everybody in the arena knew we about to turn 5,
throw it in the shot
on the left side, throw it in the shot,
just like Cap,
inside out.
Messed up. That means we dumping it in the post to Kareem. And what you gonna do about it?
Wait for the double team or not. And so those things are fun to watch. Like, that's not a negative thing that there's more ball and player movement. There's more space on the floor. Guys are positionless. How fun would it have been to post up every now and then as a guard instead of always being on the perimeter?
Been a lot of fun.
How fun would it have been as a shooting guard to also run pick and roll instead of Magic always brought the ball up.
Right.
The point guard always brought the ball up. So there's a lot of fun and value into the way the game is being played now.
Yeah.
It's just different.
Yeah.
And it's okay for us to say it's different without hating on how it is now or denigrating how it was.
Right.
Like, because there's a lot of that conversation too, as though the game we played or you played that we all played before was somehow less than.
Right. I love the analogy, the way you explained it, the entertainment value.
Yeah.
D-Fish, that's the first time I've heard it explained that way when you talk about not so much the difference, but what do you think of today's game? And not so much, like you said, in comparing it to the 80s or 90s or the 70s or 60s.
Yeah.
But just like you said, the entertainment value. And real quick, because I catch myself doing this a lot. When I'm watching NBA games, and like you said, my first hat is now a coach.
Mm-hmm.
So every time I'm watching an NBA game, Kid J, I'll be sitting there going, time out. We just scored 4 in a row, time out. And I catch myself being a coach more than I do being a fan.
Right.
But once I can remove that hat and just enjoy the game, it's a lot more fun for me.
Yes.
Do you find yourself doing that when you watch games as well at times?
Yeah. I feel like it's better when I'm at the game. And I don't go to a lot of Laker games or just games in general in person.
Mm-hmm.
When I'm there, being amongst the fans, feeling the energy, like you're paying attention to more things that a fan would pay attention to. Like you hear the music, you're looking at the halftime entertainment or the during the timeout they brought some gymnastic dog out there to do some flips and so it's just a different experience.
Perspective.
Yeah. But at home where the coach hat, it's harder to remove. Is you also can rewind. So my family, I'm notorious for it takes 4 hours to watch one game because I'm rewinding back to, okay, you see what happened when he came off the step up? They should have done this, but he wasn't over in the right spot. And everybody's like, bro, I'm just trying to watch the game.
I find myself doing that, but then all of a sudden I'm there just watching the game by myself. Everybody just leaves, and it's basically just me and the wife. Cece, she'll be sitting there, and then all of a sudden she just gets up and she just leaves. Because she ain't a fan. She likes going to the games,
right,
and enjoying that fan experience.
Yeah.